Hello and welcome to the day ahead. It is Friday, March 11th. I'm Andrew Gagan. Well, rising inflation remains a deep-seated concern for investors and central banks globally as the conflict in Ukraine rages on. And the failure of the latest attempt to broker peace between Ukraine and Russia has further soured investor sentiment. On Wall Street, with inflation accelerating for a sixth successive month, the S&P 500 index down, along with the Nasdaq shedding close to 1%. Tech shares coming under pressure, Apple and Tesla both slumping, but Amazon shares jumped after announcing a 20-for-1 stock split and a $10 billion buyback. European shares down even more markedly off the back of the European Central Bank surprising markets by accelerating its exit from pandemic stimulus, as well as that ongoing tension in Ukraine. The German DAX and the CAC in Paris, both down around 3%. Well, inflation continues to run higher globally. US CPI inflation data in February matching expectations, up 0.8% for the month and 7.9% for the year, which is the highest in 4 decades. Price gains were widespread. The Fed's preferred measure, which excludes food and energy, is up 6.4% on the year, which was in line with forecasts. And initial jobless claims rose by 11,000 to 227,000 in the past week, which is a little more than expected. On all that data, short-term yields rose by 8 basis points, while the 10-year ticked back above 2%. Rising inflation and slowing growth is a dilemma for central banks. And overnight, the ECB left its policy rates on hold, which was widely expected. As far as lifting interest rates is concerned, the bank has indicated that it will be sometime after the end of its QE program, which will be data dependent. Here's more of what the ECB President, Christine Lagarde, had to say.
That was not the decision that was made today. The decision that was made was to progress step by step, to acknowledge the added uncertainty that we are facing, and to therefore have added optionalities so that we can, in all circumstances, respond in an agile way.
On Ukraine, Lagarde was pulling no punches, calling the war a watershed moment for Europe. And she said the war has tainted and overshadowed a lot of the central bank's discussions.
War of Russia against Ukraine has tainted and overshadowed a lot of those discussions. There were different views around the table in all directions. But after those good discussions, there was a determination by all governing council members to rally the proposal that was put together by the executive board and presented by our chief economist.
So with the global picture, let's see how that all sets us up for the local session. ASX futures down around 0.5%. And on the currency front, major currencies, well, they were mixed against the US dollar, the euro falling, but it has since bounced back. The Aussie dollar rose from lows of 73.07, currently sitting at 73.6 US cents. On the commodities front, oil has slipped further overnight after the biggest plunge in 2 years in the previous trading session. Uncertainty over Russian crude supplies continues despite its reassurance that it will honour its contractual energy obligations. Brent crude oil futures falling close to 3%. And spot gold was trading near 1,996 an ounce in late US trade following the surge in US inflation and the failure of those peace talks as safe haven buying returned. In base metals, aluminium leading the gains after the UK announced further sanctions on Russia targeting individuals, including an oligarch who has had a stake in one of the world's top producers. Iron ore lost 0.8% and copper rose 1.7%. And on the corporate front, locally, a number of companies trading ex-dividend today: Deterra Royalties, Dusk Group, Granger Resources, National Tire and Wheel, WiseTech Global. And on the data front, the latest skilled jobs vacancies data is due, and RBA Governor Philip Lowe will be speaking again today, this time at the Banking 2022 conference. Tonight, we'll get a read on US consumer confidence data. That is your day ahead. See you again on Monday.